Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ivy. I'm a foreigner presently residing in the Philippines. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, I appreciate your support. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't, and turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified when I upload more videos about life in Philippines, other live vlogs, and more inspirational videos that keeps me and you going. Your support is so amazing and I love you all so much. By the way, if you're curious why you cannot see me on this particular video, I'll be talking while I show you the streets of Manila. So enjoy the view, stay tuned, and enjoy the topic as well. If you look at the description of today's video, I'm going to be talking about the possibility of you working as a foreigner in the Philippines. So are you looking to work in the Philippines? Do you want to gain more insight on the possibilities of working in the Philippines? Stay tuned and keep watching. I made a video some weeks ago that I talked about my first time experience in the Philippines. If you haven't watched that video, please, I'll leave the link below so that you can check it out. After I made that video, I had people asking me about what it's like working in the Philippines, and I decided to put out this video here so that every other person who wants to get to understand that part of life over here can actually have an insight of what it's like working here as a foreigner and how you can go about it. So that is basically what this video is going to be all about. So the first thing I would like you to know is that yes, you can work in the Philippines. So if the question is, can you work here? Yes, you can work in the Philippines. Okay, then how can you go about it? First of all, I want you to understand that before you can work in the Philippines, there are certain requirements and there are procedures you have to abide to and requirements you have to meet up with. You need to know the appropriate visa first, which is either a 9G visa or a special work permit. Now, when you understand the appropriate visa, you need to have a job offer. You cannot just go to the embassy or immigration and start to apply for this visa just because you know that you need a 9G visa or you need a special work permit, which is called the SWP visa. You need to get a job offer from a particular company in Philippines that needs your service. Get the word needs your service. This company has to have a need for your service. You cannot just put out an application there and then your service is not needed and you think you get employed. I'm sorry, that's a no, because one thing that happens in the Philippines is that if it is a regular service that every Filipino can offer, then we have to employ the Filipinos who are looking for this job before you can be employed as a foreigner. And you know there will always be people who need a job. There is no time that you will say that there are no people who are unemployed. So imagine them having to employ every unemployed person, every unemployed Filipino citizens specifically before you. So the only time it can be you before a Filipino citizen is if you have a special kind of skill that the Filipinos cannot render to those companies or rarely render to these companies, so they need more persons. Then there is a place for you. Now, when you apply for a job in either of these companies that needs your service, what the company does is that they consult the DOL. I think it's the DOL, but the full meaning is Department of Labor and Employment. When they consult the Department of Labor and Employment, they will publish this particular job as vacancy, because if you read some of their newspapers, you will see sometimes they let it known to their citizens that there are job opportunities for how many persons. If you're interested, you apply. So at the end of the day, if nobody or if they don't have enough persons for that particular job offer, then yes, you are going to get the job. This applies to people who needs the 9G and special work permits in order for them to live and work in the Philippines. It doesn't apply to those who already have the 13A visa. The 13A visa is the permanent resident visa. Those who are already permanent residents in the Philippines, this does not apply to them because they have more chances of being employed whether or not is a service that the Filipinos can offer. Well, the Filipino citizens will always come number one, but those with the 13A have higher chances than those who are applying with the 9G or SWP visa. Now, when you get the job offer, from that company. If it's a special service that the company needs, what they do is they personally apply for this visa for you. It's a pre-arranged procedure. They apply for the visa for you, and then the they grant you this visa and you can now work in the Philippines. But if in a case where the company says they will not be the one to process this visa, you have to be the one to go and apply for the visa yourself. But definitely you always need the help of the company, because it has to be specified that this company are the people who offered you the job, or who are willing to accept you in their company. So definitely in the long run, you always need a company's assistance. They have to testify that they need your service, so that at the end of the day you can get the visa you need to work in the Philippines. So that is going to be the SWP, which is a special work permit. Those who will be getting the special work permits, I think you'll be having it for just 6 months. So you'll be having a chance to come and work in the company with the company in the Philippines for 6 months. And after 6 months, you need to reapply again. You need to go back to your country and then reapply again. Before, it used to be like 6 months, they grant you again for 3 months, they grant you again for 3 months, then you go back to your country for 1 month, spend some time in your country and reapply again. But for some reasons, things has changed, and from my inquiries from those who are in the system, you need to go back after 6 months, and then if opportunity is on your side, you can apply again for another 6 months and come back to continue working in the country. If you have that's for those who will be using the special work permit called the SWP. But if it's in a case where the company applies for you and you have the 9G visa, you don't need to go back to your country after 6 months, because the company will continue to ensure that this visa is extended and available for your stay as long as your contract with them stands, as long as you still have a firm contract with them, as long as they still need your service. It's only in a case where the company no longer needs your service that the 9G visa contract and the whole thing is being terminated. So as long as the service is needed, when you have a 9G visa, you do not need to go back like the SWP visa holders. So that's what happens in this case. Let's talk about some of the services you can, let's talk about some of the special kind of skills you can be equipped with as a foreigner that gives you more chances to work in the Philippines. This will be the first of it would be being able to speak and understand other language. This is because there is a lot of job opportunities for foreigners when it comes to call centers job. Call center job requires people or individuals who can speak and understand different languages, because they are going to be dealing with clients from different countries. So at the end of the day, not all Filipinos can speak the different languages that enable the company, these call center companies, to keep moving with their clients. So definitely they are going to need your service as a foreigner if you can speak those other languages that Filipinos cannot speak and understand. So some of them are the Japanese language, the German language, very fluent in English, French as well. It's not like they don't have Filipinos who can speak this language, but it's rare. It's very rare. So there is very high chances of foreigners who can speak and understand this language to get a job at the end of the day. So just make sure that you're equipped with the understanding of other languages, so that gives you a very high chance. Other skills would be if you're in the athletic field, if you're a coach, if you are a trainer assigned to government agency and private entities, if you're a lecturer and your service is needed in any of the academic field there, if you're a researcher, if you are a commercial model, if you're a consultant, if you're a chef, if you're a missionary, if you are a movie, if it's a movie and TV crew, if it's for treasure hunting, like you're a treasure hunter. I don't know how that works, but yes, the Philippine government will allow people who are very skilled in this aspect to come into the country and enjoy those services here and get paid from those services as well. Okay, so So more of it would be, if you are into service supplies, you're performing temporary services, and your salary, but in this case your salary will not be from the Philippines. If you're into athletics, okay, I already said that before. If you're a trainer, and as if you're a trainer, you can come in with your assistant. If you're a trainer in a field that your service is needed, you're welcome. If you're an international performer with exceptional abilities, if you're an artist, okay, so in this case you are your services will be highly needed in the Philippines. You have more chances, okay. So that is it for the special skills you need to be equipped with in order for you to have higher chances to work in the Philippines and benefit from the Philippine government when it comes to getting a job offer. All right, let's talk about more requirements aside your visa. When you get employed, aside the visa the company will offer you, or the one you need to get by yourself. Another thing you need to understand is that you need to go to the BIRO, which is the Bureau of Immigration in the Philippines, when you arrive, to get your tax identification number, because at the end of the day, when you are employed, there are certain amount of tax you need to pay to the Philippine government. I believe that happens in other countries, so the Philippines is not exempted, except in a case where there is a different kind of country or agreement or something that binds the Philippine government with your own country. But yeah, that's a rare cases, because most of the times that you eventually need to pay your regular taxes. All right, the next thing I want you to understand is that when you are applying for this job to any company, you need to know there's something you need to understand. You need to understand that some of these companies are fully owned by Filipinos, okay? People who are fully Filipino citizens, or some are related to the Filipinos. In that case, all the company has to do is go by these procedures I already listed, meet the Department of Labor and Employment, talk to them, let them know that there is this service a foreigner will be coming in for, and it will be published. Like I said, if there is no Filipino, you get a chance. But if it happened that you are applying to a company that is not owned by a Filipino, what you need to do, this is called, it's like a 60-40 kind of 60-40% kind of company. That's how I will explain that more in another video when I talk about some other aspect of life in Philippines. But for now, you need to know that if it's not fully owned by a Filipino, there is a 60-40% kind of a company, where 60% goes to the government and 40% is owned by the company. What happens in that case is that what is going to happen is that before you are going to be employed by such kind of a company, the company needs to go to the Department of Justice and talk to the Department of Justice, get permission from the Department of Justice. They need to let the Department of Justice know that for the sake of the service their company needs, foreigners will be coming into Philippines. They don't have to publish and make sure that the Filipinos can't offer this service before you'll be employed. No, that doesn't apply, because these companies are owned by foreigners. They decide whether they want foreigners or Filipino citizens. It doesn't have to compulsorily be Filipinos. So in that case, it doesn't have to be published. All they have to do is go to the Department of the Justice, like I said. So if the Department of Justice grants them the permission that for the sake of these services, we allow foreigners coming to the country to work for you, regardless of the fact that whether the Filipinos can offer it or not, then yes, that's a lock for you on your side. So that is how it works when it comes to working in the Philippines, applying for a job, the things you need to understand, the things you need to consider before applying, the skills you need to know, and what visa would be best for you, depending on how long, because there are people who don't mind spending just 6 months, and for those kind of people, the special work permit is a yes for them. But if you know you want a longer term and a longer time in the Philippines, and while you keep working, then just ensure that it is a service that the company will need for a long period of time. So yeah, that's it, and I think that's all the points for this particular video on this particular topic, actually, the possibility of foreigners working in the Philippines. If you have more questions on this topic, let me know. leave it on the comment section. Send a DM to me, my Instagram, leave an email. I would definitely talk about it. If it's something I need to reply in the comment section, I will do so. Catch you guys on my next upload, and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell and keep up the support. I appreciate you guys a lot, and I love you so much. Bye for now.